In this episode, fraud, Jags, and Formula One donuts. Welcome to episode 51 of the We Are Auto Show. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy. How are you doing? Have you seen anything as you've been out and about?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been out and about and seen some interesting things. I've definitely had some pretty worthy car spots, which we'll get into later. But it is amazing what you can register in the state of Florida to drive legally.
I think if it has four wheels and an engine, you can register it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And maybe not even four wheels and an engine.
I think you're right, because I was in traffic the other day, and I looked up at what was in front of me, and it was the most Frankenstein thing I think I've ever seen.
I love those.
It's like, honest to God, this must have been a car that had been wrecked 15 times, and they just like slapped a bunch of crap on it, and was like, okay, it's still a car. We can drive this. It was what I can describe as an old Toyota pickup truck, but a small like base model, not like a big four-wheel drive model, that they somehow like retrofitted and converted to a dually, so you have dual rear wheels. And then it's like someone maybe flipped it or something, and like the cab was all like beat up. So I think they like hacked the back and top part of the cab off and took like, the best way I can describe it is like sheet metal and like random rivets that they just riveted through. And then the pièce de résistance was foam insulation that you would put like around, I don't know, an opening that you don't want wasps to get into in your house. It was tan. They didn't even paint it.
Patched together with rivets and foam.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I was like, this is just incredible. How is this even alive?
I don't know.
It didn't sound healthy.
Oh, I'm sure not.
But it was an old Toyota, so it's not going to die.
No,
it's going to sound like it's dying, but it's never going to die.
Right.
But yeah, I saw it and I was like, I don't know if I should be like confused or just like proud of you.
Driving out toward the Freedom Factory, I was going the other way. I wasn't going to the track, but I did see someone heading to the track. Had a trailer on the back, had an old, I think it was an old Silverado, a really old one, and had scaffolded on the back giant metal box with the same kind of concept that you have with the rivets and all that stuff, but it went over the top of the cab, kept going further out toward the hood, and then had supports coming down.
That's brilliant.
And was like 5 feet over the back of the bed.
Dude, that's perfect.
It was basically they had built almost an RV on top of a truck.
Oh, that's great. I love that. I love the fact that if you can get it running, you can register it.
Oh, yeah. Anything goes in the state of Florida, at least.
Florida is fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is. But shall we move on?
We should. Is there any news out there that we should chat about?
There is some perplexing news.
Okay.
So, hashtag save the manuals. I think you and I can both get behind that movement.
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming with a kind of a very odd savior. Toyota is allegedly trying to save the manuals with, and here's the big pause, an EV.
What?
Yeah.
With an electric vehicle? A manual transmission in an electric vehicle?
Which doesn't exist. But there's no reason for it to exist.
No.
Why are we doing this?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Can you think of goods and bads of this? Because I just think of bads. I mean, good save the manual, but bad.
Toyota wants to actually have a manual transmission in an electric vehicle, huh?
Well, I guess I'm confused because the term manual transmission would imply that there is a transmission.
Yeah. With most EVs...
Is there a transmission in an EV?
Well, sometimes there's a transmission that will swap gears, but it's like 2 gears, and it's all wrapped up in the motor.
Forwards or backwards?
Yeah. You can have 1 or 2 forward gears and a reverse, but generally it's all wrapped up in the motor, and there's no reason for a human to be intervening in the transferring of between the gears. And you don't have a clutch. You don't generally have an actual like mechanical transmission that would link the engine to the drivetrain. That's odd.
I'm confused.
That is really weird. So in this article, it says that Toyota has plans to simulate manual gears in an EV with a fake paddle shifter. Huh.
I don't like this. Is it going to give you like a clutch pedal?
I don't know. I don't think so, though. They also have full mode, which would be a full-on manual. So I imagine that what they're going to do...
Oh, wait a minute. I think they are going to give you a fake clutch.
Oh,
they're going to give you a fake clutch pedal.
This is the weirdest thing.
Do you want a fake clutch pedal?
Okay. Do I not want a fake clutch pedal is the real question.
I'm not so sure about all this.
They have a graph here of fake torque curves that they're going to implement with software, basically, to make it feel like you're driving an electric vehicle. This is perplexing.
I keep seeing little blurbs. There's this, or is it the patent file? It uses a fake clutch, fake shifter, a 3-mode selector, and programming the controller to simulate the experience of driving a manual transmission, with my favorite part, just without the stalling. That's the whole point of driving a manual. You need to stall it to learn what a stall feels like and feel the embarrassment and shame brought upon you, especially in traffic when you're holding up like 15 cars behind you.
What would heel towing be like?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Because you don't really need a rev match in an EV.
No, but you could, in theory, you could simulate the mismatch of the RPMs and like have the jolt forward if you messed up a rev match. This is weird territory. Now that I'm thinking about this is really weird stuff.
So you're 3-pedaling an EV.
You, in theory, yes, you would be... You would 3-pedal an EV with a proper shifter, with a proper clutch. Well, with a faked shifter and faked clutch.
Proper? I don't know if that's the word we want to use here, Derek.
And a whole bunch of software. This is really weird, and I don't know if I like it. I want to save the manuals, but I don't think that...
Do you want a manual that won't let you stall?
I guess you could just, like... I'm sure there's a setting to just toss it back into auto mode whenever you want it, right?
But, like, the whole point of having a manual is so that you know how to not stall. Well, and to drive it. But,
yeah, it's more
would
than
you... But a manual that can't stall. Is it a manual, then?
I don't see why... I'm sure that you could implement software already in a car that would disengage the clutch if the RPM got too low and not let you stall. But, like, I don't think that that's the big important factor here. I think it's weird that you're basically going to be playing with a fake gearbox and software is going to be re-implementing the feel of a gearbox. Right? Because you would have, in that case, you would just have a whole bunch of gears that you're moving the little shifter around on, and nothing is happening below that. There's no linkage directly to a transmission. It's just a bunch of sensors and gates, and it would just do software stuff to simulate. I don't think it's a good idea.
Would you buy one?
I don't know.
Let me put it this way. The year is 2084. The only thing left are EVs, and the only thing that you can feel 3 pedals with is this fake manual transmission thing. At that point, do you buy it?
I don't know. I don't know. If it's 2034, like, there are going to still be internal combustion engines.
2084.
Oh, 2084?
Yeah.
They were probably... Oh, man, I don't know. What would you do?
I would not buy any of them.
Stop.
I don't know if I realistically, though, I don't know if I could do this and not look at myself as a fraud.
That's a good point. But the options are no clutch pedal, no fake transmission.
It's already dead at that point.
Yes.
Is it not already dead at that point?
Or you have the fake clutch pedal and fake transmission and still can enjoy the feel of driving to the best of what you can enjoy at that point.
But are you enjoying it then?
Why not? Just because it has a direct linkage, if they do the software well enough, would it matter?
To me, yes, but to others, probably not.
We're almost going all the way down the rabbit hole of, like, simulation theory at this point.
We are.
Like, is this reality?
Are
we all in a
seen
simulation?
Your neighbor walk into their house with groceries?
Because they're basically simulating the feel and drive of a manual transmission, which I think is cool. And also,
So you're going to do that while wearing VR goggles?
well, if
And
they
then
pipe in
getting-
audio, if they nail
Oh,
everything, does
They
it make
pipe
a
in
difference?
No.
All your sensors are sorted out.
Maybe I'm just not hip enough.
Maybe you need to buy more NFTs. I don't know.
Have you bought an NFT?
No,
No?
it's a
A
mess.
non-fungible token?
No, it's a mess.
Can you believe I actually know what it stands for?
I am impressed with you.
Yeah, but I didn't know what TLDR meant.
No, you didn't. No. And that's not even as hip and young.
Yeah, I'm the hippest of all.
I don't know what to think about this.
Yeah,
I would
this
love
is
to hear what other people think about this.
There's some weird news. Save the manuals with an EV.
Does everyone think that this is dumb, or do you think that this is an interesting idea and possibly could actually save the manual in the future? Don't know.
You already know what I think, but write to us. Please do on our social.
Please.
So shall we move on?
We shall.
Okay. So you know how everything is more expensive nowadays, Derek?
Mm-hmm.
What if there was something that isn't more expensive than it was last year?
I'm trying to think of one thing that's like that.
Nothing.
I can't think of anything.
Inflation is crazy expensive
can't think
over
of
the past 2
anything.
years. But what about a car?
Okay, certainly not.
What if there's a car that actually got cheaper than last year? The newest model is now cheaper than the
A
previous
new
model.
car. Oh, I was
Yes.
going to say, I'm sure there are used cars that got cheaper. But
But
a
a
new
new
car?
car?
No.
What if I told you all your dreams could come true with a cheaper new car? And it's a Buick. Do you
Okay.
want a Buick first and foremost?
Sell me on this puppy because I am aroused.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I can sell you on a Buick. I can't sell myself on a Buick. I'm not a little old lady that lives in a trailer park somewhere. But I digress. You now can buy the Buick. It's the 2022 Envision. The second generation Envision is now actually a couple $100 cheaper than it was last year.
Wow.
So the 2022 is cheaper than the 2021. New.
That's crazy.
That's actually kind of wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they've done some minor changes to the ST trim.
Okay.
The sanitary towel.
Okay.
The female product version of the Buick Envision. No, the ST stands for Sport Touring. Can you imagine a least fitting name for a Buick?
A
Sport Touring.
touring.
You ever going to sportly tour a Buick ever in your life?
Ooh, does it have a fake manual transmission as well?
You're funny. No, but it does have the new second gen ST Buick Envision has aluminum pedals.
Aluminum pedals?
Yeah, baby. It's got aluminum pedals and ST badges everywhere, and it's cheaper.
Great. Bring it on.
Can you believe a new car is cheaper now than it was last year?
I'm surprised that there is a new car, and I'm also shocked that it's a Buick of all the cars.
Yeah, like a Corolla. Yeah, I could see that.
Right. A Civic.
But a Buick SUV, a Buick small crossover SUV thing is cheaper than it was the previous year.
This must be like an economies of scale kind of thing. That's my guess.
The more you scale, the cheaper it gets. Right. It's got to be.
That's my suspicion as to what's going on here. But I do like that there is a car that is actually cheaper. That's cool.
Would you buy one?
No.
I don't know. No one would.
Would you?
No, absolutely not.
I didn't think that you would.
I would never buy a Buick.
No.
I think ever in my life.
I wouldn't say that.
No.
Really? If
I get to the point where I'm looking at genuinely buying a Buick, kill me. Just do it. End it. End it now. If I genuinely think, I need me a new car. I'm going to go down to the Buick dealer and get me a new Buick. End it now, is what I would say.
You're 85 years old. You can
Nope.
barely see and walk.
That's fine. I'll get a Civic.
Okay.
No, I'll get a race car.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
No, you won't.
No, I'll get a truck. That way, what I can't see, I just run over.
That's more reasonable, yes.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
So, that's the new cheap car. Do you have anything we should move to?
I do. I actually have a race car.
Ooh, I like race cars.
And it's a race car that you particularly like.
Ooh, I like race cars
It's
that I
a
particularly
German
like.
car manufacturer. Starts with P. Yeah, it's Porsche.
Does it end in Porsche?
It is.
Okay.
They brought out some photos of their new car. I think we talked about this, 1 or 2 shows ago? Something
we did,
like that.
yep.
Their LMDh or GTP in IMSA car.
Yeah, so
we still don't know
what GTP stands for.
Yeah,
we don't know what it stands for.
We don't know if the World Endurance Championship, the other side of the racing series, is going to use that class name. And from one of the rumors that I've heard, I don't think they're actually going to use that class name.
I think they're going to use LMDh, Le Mans Daytona Hybrid.
I think they're going to use that as well. And I saw some articles come out that was like, people are already criticizing the World Endurance Championship in IMSA, the International Motorsports Association, that they need to get their stuff together, because that's bad to have the same cars named differently across 2 different series.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's stupid that they've got the different names.
So we got more spy shots of your Porsche, your LMDh or GTP Porsche.
Yay.
And I think it looks particularly ugly. Let's chat about it.
You need to be gentle, Derek.
They brought out finally the headlights on this car.
Okay.
These headlights look... I don't know if this is because of the camo that is on the car. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the photo of it. But these headlights look absurdly big for this car.
Needs a lot of light to race at night, I suppose.
Okay. LEDs produce a ton of light, and they don't need to be that big. This is like elephant size big in the front. You take the BMW grille, it's about the width of that, and then it's just slightly slid over to the edges. And I don't understand why they're so big, and they look particularly ugly, in my opinion.
I don't know how I feel about the lights, to be honest. I am a Porsche fanboy. I'm not so sure about the lights.
Ooh.
I mean...
Even you.
I would have really liked them to do almost like a heritage feel, like give it a 911 feel.
Porsche headlights do look good.
They do.
Like on the normal 911, they look very good.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely nowhere near that.
No, these are small rectangle that are short and wide rectangles.
Yes, with like 4 compartments. If you broke it up into like a rectangle into quadrants, yeah. And each rectangle has, from what I can tell, either a strip of LEDs or at least 2 LEDs in each half of the quadrant. Mm-hmm. And they look goofy.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the car.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't fit the brand, I don't think.
I mean, it does have like a Porsche Taycan, the EV, the electric vehicle version of Porsche. It does have a Taycan feel, because the Taycan has like 4 quadrants as well.
I see what you're saying about the quadrants, but they're like they're points on the Taycan, or a tiny little strip in the very top edges of the quadrants.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you just blew it up.
Yeah, you blew it up to the point where it's so pixelated you can't even tell it's a headlight.
But I mean, unfortunately, this does highlight and showcase the brand's future in EV, because it's modeling a bit after the Taycan.
I wish they would have just gone with... You remember I think it's the 911 new Carrera Cup cars?
Yeah.
They have the 4 points, basically. Yeah. They look great. They look awesome.
They do.
I don't know why they couldn't go with something like that. It didn't have to be this long rectangular object.
Yeah.
Make it short, a square, wide. Make it a little taller, and make it have the 4 points. It'd look awesome. And it'd be the brand.
If they would have like drawn it up over the fender a little bit, that would have been way better. Then I don't know.
Maybe when all the camo comes off this car and we get a proper livery, it'll blend right in.
Maybe. A livery could change this completely.
Yeah.
I think that could be what this car needs.
But for now, man, those look goofy.
They're a little odd.
Yeah.
They're a little odd. Got to admit, they are a little odd.
All right, so let's move on from odd Porsche news. Okay. And let's chat about some American racing.
Yeah, brother.
Do you know what's coming up this weekend?
Is it Ricky Bobby racing at Talladega?
Close. It is the Great American Race.
Hey.
The Daytona 500.
Let's go.
So that means that we got some praising Dale to do this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Praise Dale, praise Dale. I will be praising Dale for sure.
NASCAR will be at the Big Oval, Daytona.
Yep.
And this will be the first time that they're there from the point that they've had these new cars.
Yep.
Be the first time we see pack racing in these new cars.
Yep.
And it is also, everyone is very scared that these new cars, we're going to run out of race cars if we have a big wreck very soon here.
Yep. Ruh-roh.
Mm-hmm. Big retro. Have you seen how this weekend is supposed to work with the Daytona 500?
Only a little snippet. I don't really know exactly what's happening.
So they're doing this weird. I think they do this every year for Daytona. They do what's called the duels, which is 2 races to set the grid for the Daytona 500.
So it sounds like sprint qualifying races.
The sprint qualifying races for sure, which is something that F1 has started doing,
which I'm a fan of.
Kind of interesting. They're not quite doing it the same way F1 is, but it's very kind of similar in a way. So today we're actually recording on Wednesday. They're doing just 2 laps. You get the whole track to yourself. Each car runs, and the grid will be, I believe, 40 cars in total will be racing in this year's Daytona 500. So all 40 cars.
I feel like that's not a lot.
It is not a lot. I thought that it was normally 43.
Well, okay. I'm also just still stuck on IMSA racing 61 cars.
Yes, but IMSA's a different beast right now.
It is. And
IMSA's exploding right now.
You're right, it is.
NASCAR is
imploding.
heading down.
Imploding.
Yeah. But NASCAR does own IMSA, so they balance out, right?
In theory, yeah.
Yeah, in theory. I believe there will be 40 cars, at least that's what this article on the NASCAR website says.
Okay.
And they're going to have each car today on Wednesday will be going out doing 2 laps. Take your fastest time of those 2 laps. It is only you on the track. Whoever finishes in the top 2 places after all those laps are complete, that session of qualifying is complete, will be on the pole position and on the front row for the race.
Okay.
Only the top 2 cars.
That's odd, but okay.
That is kind of odd because you do an entire qualifying session, only the top 2 move on.
It's almost like if you're one of the lower teams, why would you even participate in that
That's
qualifying
a good question.
session?
I don't know.
Because if you know that you don't have a hope in hell, why would you go and risk burning tires and fuel and maybe something stupid happens?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. After that, we still have 38 cars we need to figure out where they all go, right?
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to split those 38 cars in half, and we're going to take one half, and we're going to put them in the first dual race. And this is an actual race.
So you're going to put 17 cars.
Uh-huh.
No. However many. 18, 19. That many cars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't math.
Yeah.
But half of the 38 in one. And
19.
then what about the other half?
They are going to be in the second dual race. And then we'll take the positions of those.
What?
And that will determine the rest of the grid for the Daytona 500. So if you finish first in the dual race, you will be on the second row of the Daytona 500.
Okay.
And if you finished second in your dual race, you'll be on the third row in the Daytona 500.
Weird, but okay.
It's very weird. I've never seen a more odd qualifying setup before.
That just seems confusing.
Yes. And to add a little more confusion on top, there will also be what are called open cars, which I have yet to determine what open cars are. But the fastest of there are 2 open cars that will make the race. I believe that these are either like privateer teams or some sort of categorization that NASCAR does to determine you as an open car. And 2 of those will make the race as well. And those are based on the qualifying lap times.
Maybe that's a car without sponsors or something. I don't know.
I don't know. It's funky. Why can't they just put them all on track for those 2 laps? You take the fastest time, you're on pole. You take the second fastest time, you're second. Just normal NASCAR qualifying.
Wouldn't that make a lot of sense?
The scare here is that with these dual races, if the big one happens and we take 10 cars out, will the Daytona 500 start with 30 cars instead of 40 cars? And there's a very, very good chance of that happening.
I know last week we talked about the issues that NASCAR was having after the LA Clash.
Yes.
With how sometimes the smaller teams were just waiting for a big guy to just bin it so they could buy their car from them.
Mm-hmm. I've also heard more interesting things, that the delegation of parts, and I think it's mainly, it's not chassis, it's like the shell of the car, the carbon shell now.
Oh, okay,
The doors, the fenders, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those parts are being allocated based on championship points.
What?
Yeah. So if you were doing well in the championship, you have more parts. You can
fix your car. If you're doing crappy in the championship, sucks to suck, you're out, bud.
I think that's terrible.
I'm not a fan of that.
No, you're enticing the big teams to stay in and not allow the small teams in.
I think you're also enticing the big teams to drive like idiots. Because if you're a big team that you're high in the championship standings, you can do something, you can be more risky with your car.
Yes.
because you know that you can get spares, versus a smaller team that they're just trying to compete, but they're not high enough championship standing, so now they're not going to push their cars hard because they're at risk and being scared of not being able to replace whatever.
I get where you're coming from with that, but because we're in the first race of the season, everybody's on equal playing field for this race. Once you're 10 races into the season, yes, that becomes a factor.
That's exactly, yeah. This race is what it is. Let's see what happens. But when we're halfway through the season, if you're a small team, you're probably going to have your drivers driving a lot more conservatively versus a big team that you're high in the championship standings. Hey, get out there, shake and bake, slingshot, engage, baby.
Yep. So I believe that the actual qualifying, that is the single car qualifying, will happen on Wednesday. On Thursday will be the duels, and then on Sunday will actually be the main event, the Daytona 500. So I'll be very interested to see, do we have 40 cars actually start this race, or will some teams be going home Thursday night?
I guess we're going to find out.
We will.
I'm worried that there's going to be not nearly as many cars because of people being idiots.
Yeah, I don't know. And I can tell you, because of the shortage in parts and all that stuff, people in the practices are driving very cautiously. I've seen...
That takes all of the fun out of watching NASCAR to me.
It does.
The whole reason you watch NASCAR is to watch people drive like buffoons.
Yes.
I want to see big-bodied things banging doors and rubbing sheet metal together, making sheet metal babies and all this.
You make carbon babies now.
Yeah, and carbon babies multiply a lot. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it's not good.
No.
I want to see them run the road course.
Oh, yeah, I mean, everyone wants to see
that,
but
right? The new cars, I want to see how these new cars run the road course.
I think they'll do fantastic on the road, actually.
Yeah, me too, which is why I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I want to watch a NASCAR road race with the new cars. I think that would be fantastic.
I don't know if they'll do great on the ovals.
I think they're going to be boring on the ovals.
I do too. But this is the first time we have a proper race with these new cars, so there will be like engineering shenanigans going on. I've already heard that people are like putting wedges in the cars to tilt them sideways, basically, to make it so they can go through the corners easier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they went from an asymmetrical car with the old car to now a symmetrical car with this new car to now they're shenaniganly making them asymmetrical again?
They're tinkering with the suspension to make them asymmetrical again. Yes. It's not against the rules, but it's one of those like gray area kind of things.
I love that debauchery that just...
Yeah, that's engineers in any sport, right? In any racing. If you're not
racing.
pushing the limits, you're not pushing the rules, then you're not trying.
That's just racing.
Yeah, that's racing. That's to be expected.
I love it.
I like that too. So, speaking of just racing.
Okay.
Have you seen that all of the new F1 cars are coming out?
Formula One? Formula boring?
Formula boring. Have you seen any of the new cars yet?
I've started to see some of the liveries that have been trickled out.
Yeah, we actually have a whole bunch of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to scroll through them on YouTube, and let's chat about some of these, because I have some opinions.
Let's give it a chat then.
Okay.
So who do you want to start with?
Let's start with McLaren, which is what we're looking at here.
Okay.
What's your take on this car?
I love the new livery of the McLaren.
Explain it to the audio listeners.
So to the audio listeners, we have the Papaya Spark, which is that orange, right, with what looks to be, correct me if I'm wrong here, a Gulf blue accent. So McLaren's official livery is a Gulf style livery.
It is.
Hell yeah.
It is awesome.
I'm stoked.
But the one thing that I'm not stoked about, and the one thing that really caught my eye when I initially saw these, is the covers over the rims of the wheels. The wheel covers.
Yeah?
I hate them. I absolutely hate them.
I hate them on some cars, but on some cars I like them.
It takes away so much character of the car. It doesn't make the car feel like a car that would be on the road.
To me, it does remind me of a little bit of like an old rally flare with the aero discs that you would see that vented brakes. To me, the cars that I don't mind and I actually like the look of them are the cars where they actually put like livery accents on it. Like if you kind of highlighted it, like how McLaren put the blue with the orange logos on there.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. But on some of the other cars where it's just kind of like plain and bland, it looks like a spare tire.
You're turning this into a spaceship as opposed to a car.
the wheels are what define that as a spaceship too?
Yeah.
That's how you define a spaceship?
I mean, it's just moving that direction. It moves the needle way further that way.
Because to me, they've been looking spaceshipy for a long damn time.
They look spaceshipy. But someone can look at the old F1 car, right? And you can see the wheel spokes, and you can see the brakes, and you can see exactly how all the mechanical bits attach in the wheels and everything.
Or maybe, to the untrained eye, does this make it look more like a car because it looks like the spare tire donut that someone keeps in the trunk of their Jetta?
Sexy.
Yeah. Give me a spare tire, a Steely. It's like they put winter tires on it.
Yeah, that's what F1
Gotta
wants
put my
for their
snows on.
That's what they want for their marketing material. People sending memes of spare tires in their F1 wheels.
I'm going to meme it.
Jeez, Louise.
I think I'm going to meme it. Yeah.
I think they look terrible.
It depends on the car for me. Some cars, they don't look great. Some cars, they don't look bad. The McLaren, I don't mind it because they're actually playing with them. They're not just like bland.
Okay. We'll rifle through a couple more of these pretty darn quickly. And they're all unique, but they all kind of do look the same as well. So the next one up is the AlphaTauri.
So the AlphaTauri, this one, I don't like the wheel covers because they didn't highlight anything on it.
Yeah, it just looks
It's just
super
black.
bland. It looks bad.
Gray, whatever color it is.
And another thing that these take away is you can't see the brakes at night anymore.
Yeah, you're right. My concern with seeing brakes at night is that how much of the brakes are you actually seeing at night now that all the night circuits are just under bright lights?
You could have... What was the race that they actually raced?
Was it
in night?
Bahrain?
Was it Bahrain? It might have been Bahrain.
Or
there's like one or two races.
what is it? Malaysia, whatever the one is.
I don't know.
Somewhere over there.
Somewhere over there.
Yeah.
But they do have one or two races, and if somebody is really pushing into a corner, you can see them glow red. Even on the broadcast, you can see it. It's rare because they're usually not pushing the brakes to that kind of temperature on every single corner, but you can definitely see it if you know what you're looking for. Now, that's not possible. They're covered. They're gone.
Yeah.
It's just you're sliding the needle further towards spaceship away from car, and I'm not.
I do see that point. I do like the rear wing now.
Yeah, it looks.
I like how much more design and kind of angles it has.
It looks very cool.
Curve. So, do you like the AlphaTauri livery?
Yeah.
I like the previous model, or the previous year livery more than the current one, or more than this new one for AlphaTauri.
This one kind of just meh for me.
Yeah, it's just kind of blah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you got next?
All right, let's move on over to, I believe that we have next to be Red Bull, which is a very dark picture. But they did.
It's the new car, I suppose.
Yeah.
That looks exactly the same as the old car.
It really does. For a second, I thought it was the old car, but it's not because of the wing in the
You
back.
can just tell the wing. I don't care about the Red Bull livery. Nothing looks like it's changed at all with the livery, at least.
No, I don't think it has.
It's the matte Red Bull colors. It's, navy and yellowish, orangish, and reddish, orangish.
I wonder how many engineering shenanigans are about to be played in this new F1 world that we're in.
All of them.
Yeah. This is the quintessential series for playing those.
The first one. Yeah, the first one with the new cars. Oh, yeah, they're going to start exploring.
Yeah.
And they probably already have.
Oh, I'm sure that they currently are.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is
sure.
Kind of to be expected.
Yep. Who do we got next?
All right. Next up, we have, who is this? Aston Martin?
Aston. Okay. So this is the new Aston F1 car. It's green. It is Aston Martin Racing Green, as we would call it, with yellow accents. The tire covers, they didn't really highlight them. They just look like spare tires again. So not really a fan of them on this one. Do you like the look of the livery here?
I like the look of the livery. For some reason, this looks like it's riding really high. I don't know if that's just
I think it's just the shadows.
It might be the shadows.
Yeah.
Of the picture. Yeah.
Honestly, the cool thing about this car that I don't know is cool or not, but from the angle that we're looking at, it's hard to see. But on the side, it's got a bunch of like vents that look almost like gills of a fish.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
Right above the engine cowling. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I can kind of dig the Aston.
Okay. I only have a few more here. So next up, we have actually a leaked image of the Ferrari, which hasn't released yet, but I believe will be releasing tomorrow. And somebody took a picture of it before it was like right up on stage. So
this is the new Ferrari 2022 car.
Yeah.
It looks like the old Ferrari with more black.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
clean.
I think they could have thrown a little more heritage back to like
a Marlboro livery style on it.
Something like that, yeah. A little more white. The black kind of looks weird.
Yeah,
but
they should have highlighted something with the wheel covers as well. But either way.
Back to like the Schumacher days would have been cool.
That would have been great. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, well.
Matte red. That's just kind of plain Ferrari.
Right.
Kind of just plain Ferrari.
And next up, we have the... Who's this, Williams? This is Williams.
Williams coming up next.
This looks cool. I really like this one, actually.
This is good.
This is very good.
I like the Williams a lot.
Explain the Williams to the people.
The Williams, this is hard to even explain.
It is.
It's like a modern style Martini livery that went a little crazy.
It's a good way of putting it.
That's kind of the best way I can describe it, because it's got like the dark blue, it's got the light blue, it's got the turquoise, it's got a little bit of red. Mm-hmm. It's got like I really like the Williams livery, I think.
Yeah, I do too. And they contoured with the shape of the front wing and the body really well, with some edginess in the back with like the different contrasting colors. But the front wing has really good contour with some contrasting colors to keep the swoopiness of the aerodynamics going. Mm-hmm. Looks good.
Yeah, big fan of the Williams.
Still hate the wheel covers.
Yeah, not in this one. Don't like them.
Yeah.
Don't like them on this one.
Yeah. And then finally here we have who's this? This is Haas.
Oh,
the slowest team in F1.
Hey, don't like that. Not one bit.
Yeah.
So it's just plain white with the blue and red. It's got black wheel covers, and it's just the Russian flag.
It really is. You're right.
Like, because Russia pretty much owns Haas.
Oh,
right?
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Russian flag.
Oh, so there's a reason they did that.
Yeah.
And the wheel covers are totally black, and it looks terrible.
It looks like a spare tire.
It does. It does look like the donut. It really does look like a donut.
Now that I've said it, you can't unsee it, can
No,
you?
you cannot. It's bad.
So, of the liveries we've seen that have been released, there's a few that haven't been released yet, like Mercedes, and I think, I don't remember who else, but there's been a couple that have not been released yet. Mm-hmm. But of the ones we've seen, what are your favorites?
Williams. Yep, Williams is my favorite for sure. Aston Martin looks relatively good, but Williams takes the cake. The worst? Probably Haas.
Yeah, Haas is the worst, for sure. I would say my favorite is the Williams, second favorite is the McLaren, third favorite is the Aston.
Oh, you're right, the McLaren. I forgot about the McLaren.
The Golf theme.
Yeah, that's a good looking car, too. Okay. Well, we'll see how this shakes out in the F1 season. We'll keep you in the loop. But the new cars are coming out. I'm sure there'll be a few more next week that we'll talk about. But
I'm excited to see them.
Yeah, and they look fast. Hopefully they've sorted out their aerodynamics, and hopefully we can have good racing.
Actual passing.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's what we want.
We shall see.
Fingers crossed. So we're going to move on away from Formula One, Formula Boring, because I've got a beef with EVs, as you know.
Oh, we know.
So of all the EV drivers, who do you think would be the most selfish EV driver? What brand?
The most selfish EV driver. Well, let's see here. We could go down.
You've got Tesla. You've got BMW with the iX, the i3. You've got Chevy with the Volt. You've got, who else? Porsche with the Taycan. Audi with the e-tron. You've got Ford with Mach-E. You've got Jag with the I-Pace. You've got all of them.
Yeah, I don't really think, like, Tesla drivers aren't really... They're kind of just not good drivers.
They're bad, yeah.
They're bad drivers, but they're not, like, aggressive and terrible drivers. They're just not into driving, right? Mm-hmm. If we went down, like, Audi's probably okay, because you're going to spend a shit ton of money on that car anyway. So you probably want to like driving.
Who's most... Let me rephrase this. Who's most likely to show up to your house and need to borrow your electricity?
BMW.
You think?
That's my guess.
I'm going to say Jag.
Why?
Because they're the white-collar criminals, right? They're the Jag.
That is true.
Right? They're the Jag driver. It's the driver that goes out and forgets his debit card or his credit card at the pump, and he goes up to you that's filling up and is, I'm awfully sorry. Can you just spot me $20? I promise I'll get you back. So I came across something that it made me just die laughing. In the middle of one of the absolute most busy intersections that we have here in Sarasota, Florida, the Jag I-Pace, their electric vehicle, died right in the middle of it.
Brilliant.
Is that not the most Jag thing to do?
Brilliant. It was just dead. Dead stick.
It is an English car.
Yes.
It's it's a Jag, and it was dead in the middle of an intersection. Is that not the most Jag thing to do ever? He had 3 cops stop to help him. It's the most Jag thing ever. So you're going to drive a Jag, but you're going to drive an EV Jag.
Yeah. And you didn't charge it. Evidently, you didn't charge it. Whoops. Hey, neighbor.
Yeah, huh. Pardon me. Can you spot me a quick 4-hour charge?
Yeah, it's not like you can just...
You don't just walk down to the gas station and get a jerry can and just
it's not that kind
let me
of
get
thing.
like 2 gallons just to get me to where I need to go.
Can I just trickle charge for 3 days?
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't work.
And this was in literally the most inconvenient place. It was the middle lane of the middle of the intersection.
Perfect.
In the diverging diamond, which is
oh yes,
you know, if you're local, you know the diverging diamond. If you're not local, it is a humongous intersection that funnels thousands of people every day.
Oh yeah, hundreds of thousands of people.
And it was a Jag dead in the middle of it, in the middle lane of the middle of the diverging diamond.
It might be the worst spot
ever.
Yeah, that might be. Other than the middle of the interstate, that's probably the worst spot. Well, no, even that would slow down. Yeah, people would back up. You're not going to back up at that intersection. You just. That's awful.
The most Jag thing to do ever. You're an EV driver, but you buy an EV Jag.
That intersection also has problems. Have you ever noticed that's probably the place I see the most
every single
bumper accidents?
Every single day.
Every day.
Every single day there's a rear-ended accident. Every single day.
It's always when you're getting on the interstate. I don't understand why that happens. Is it a traffic pattern thing?
It's a distracted driver thing.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Because everyone's looking at their phone, look up and go, oh, God, they're dead stopped, and I'm doing 45.
Yeah. It's weird because it's not a particularly high-speed part, but...
It goes from 45 to 35 at that part.
Okay. Huh. Weird.
But yes,
terrible
a dead
place to break
Jag EV. The most Jag thing to do if you're an EV driver.
That is definitely a very Jag thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, outside of the Jag... We had some time to go and see some cool stuff. We went to a supercar meet on Thursday here.
We did.
Did you happen to see anything that you particularly enjoyed at this Thursday supercar evening meet?
I did. There was actually a ton of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
There was one that I particularly liked.
Okay.
And it was this.
Which is?
This is an Aston Martin, and this is... Which one is this? This is a Vantage.
This is a Vanquish.
A Vanquish?
Vanquish, not a Vantage. Vantage.
Do you happen to know the color, the name of the color?
I don't know the Aston name of it, but it is a theme of Miami blue, maybe a hint of Mexico blue, maybe even a Riviera blue.
Okay. I think Miami blue pretty much nails with the color. So
it's
the Porsche really light blue, it was that same exact color, but on this Vanquish. And it was not the fanciest car there. It was not the most expensive car there.
Not by a long shot.
No, we'll show you some of those in a second. But I found it to be one of the classiest and probably I would enjoy driving the most.
It is stunning.
Yes.
It's just pretty.
It is very pretty.
I don't know if you could actually drive it or if you would just open your garage and look at it and just be scared. Just not scared, but just admire the beauty of it.
Do you think this is a car that you wouldn't drive? I think I would drive this.
Well, when you're driving it, you can't see it.
Yes.
Which is the best part.
Yeah. But also you get to your destination and you get out and you're reminded, oh yes, that's right, I was driving this. That's fantastic. All these people around me got this awesome view.
If I was driving that, I would have to be dressed in a tux with a watch that has like a laser beam in it and like James Bond, right?
Straight up James Bond.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's a great spec for this car.
Oh, it's stunning.
Yeah.
It's stunning. It is beautiful.
Right. But of the cars there, it was kind of down low on the totem pole, actually.
Oh, that was like on Income Sport of all the ones that were there.
So there was a Ferrari there. I believe it was the Ferrari that you saw.
It is the
as
Ferrari
your car
that
spot
I
of
spotted.
the last episode.
Yeah, it was my spot of the week of the previous episode. Yeah, the SF90 Stradale.
Yes. Very cool car. I finally got to see it in person.
Uh-huh.
I do think it looks very spaceshipy.
I like it. It does. It's like Spaceship meets Heritage to me.
Yeah, I can see where because the Heritage on the back, it looks...
It's got the 4 taillights versus the 2.
Right.
It's honestly like you meshed and melded and welded a Heritage Ferrari with a new spaceshipy Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool as hell.
The back did remind me of something. I think it was a Lotus or something like that. It kind of has weird, in my opinion, a weird back look, but I get the Heritage that they're going for.
I can dig it.
How much is one of these?
This particular one is about $1 million.
Whew. Okay.
I've actually spoken with the owner. Yeah, this particular one's about $1 million.
It's expensive.
You remember something cool with that car?
What?
When the owner got in and drove away, it started to drive away under just EV power. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And then as it's driving away, silence, and then finally he flipped the switch and
Yep.
That was kind of interesting to see it start EV and then all of a sudden flip the switch and you've awakened the beast.
You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
At Le Mans, when Toyota originally started doing their now LMDh program, their prototype program.
Yep.
They were the first one to get into the hybrid era, where they were pulling out of the pit lane and it was dead silent. Then they got to the end of pit road and boom, engine.
Yeah.
Big loud engine sounds. It reminded me of that. It reminded me of them pulling out of their pit stall at Le Mans and then bang, engine.
Dead silent to 60 miles an hour and then boom.
Yep.
It was really kind of cool.
It was very cool.
I don't like that kind of thing, but that was interesting as hell because where we were standing was the exact spot where he finally went from EV to internal combustion, electric vehicle to internal combustion. Mm-hmm. So that spot right where it hit ice, it was like boom, right next to us. It's like, whoa.
It was very cool.
That just woken the beast.
It did. It definitely did. So there were some other cars there. There was one notable other car there.
Oh, yeah, there was. Oh, yeah, there was.
So what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a Pagani Huayra Roadster.
This was another one of your car spots from...
Actually, it's not.
Oh, this wasn't the same one, was it?
No, it's the owner's other Pagani Huayra.
Their other one.
Yes, she has 2.
Okay.
She has the Roadster BC and the Roadster. This is her, run-of-the-mill daily driver Pagani.
A run-of-the-mill Pagani.
Yes. I like the picture that you're looking at now because it's got the light on it so you can see the exposed blue carbon fiber.
Yes, you can. And it's very carbon fiber.
Stunning.
It is very good looking.
Stunning.
And I believe that she's also taken this around the country?
Yeah. If you see the little sticker on the kind of her front left corner from what we're looking at the right, it's Pagani Raduno, which is a cross-country Pagani-only rally.
Wow.
Where her and a bunch of other Pagani drivers drive their Paganis across the country. Going on track days and whatever you want to do with them.
Okay, I'm sure that is very expensive, but quite the club to be in.
Because why would you not want to do that?
I don't know. That's crazy.
I would spend my entire life doing that if I could.
So, how many do you think do you know how many are in the U.S. of this?
I don't know, but not tons.
Okay. We're talking
under 100, I believe.
Oh, okay. We're talking not tons. Very limited.
And we have not only one regular Huayra, but a Huayra BC, which I believe they only made 10 of.
And that's the one that you saw?
Yeah.
That was the white and black.
The white and blue, yep.
The white and blue, okay. Cool. This was a very cool car to see there. It was, it was the top of the show, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah. There was some other class there. There was some classic Lamborghinis. This was a supercar show, supercars only.
Yep.
Some people were memeing online that Corvettes were going to show up and Camaros and stuff. They didn't fit the bill. They didn't fit in. They got kicked out.
Yep, you get the boot.
But I did like this spec of what kind of Lambo would this be?
A Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive Roadster.
Yes. I think that this is the right amount of class and yet a little bit of flair.
Yes. It's just the right amount of everything, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the right amount of, pizzazz and, wow, look at me, but also just the right amount of, just comfortably, classily,
yes,
prettily going somewhere.
And a little bit of racing in there, too. A little bit, not too much. This is
just
not
a touch.
It's not a track monster.
It's just a touch.
Yeah.
I would say that's the best Lamborghini to daily drive nowadays.
I would love to daily drive that. Yeah. That'd be awesome. And not only did we have one car show, but we also had another car show.
Yep.
This one was on Saturday. It was after the one that we just took a look at.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some interesting stuff there. Now, I know you went. I might have missed it.
You did. Yeah, you missed a good one.
Okay.
You
What did
missed
I
the
miss?
Sarasota Cars and Coffee, the Ferrari February theme. So before I get into the good stuff that you missed, do you want to see the bad stuff that you missed?
I'm always interested to see the bad stuff at a Cars and Coffee.
These are maybe the more fun things to see.
I think that they are.
So, what if I say you missed the bad stuff? What car are you already picturing?
I am picturing like a riced out Civic that's like making a bunch of ruckus.
Sure,
Maybe an Altima that got jammed in between a couple Ferraris.
maybe. What else is usually done very poorly?
Done very poorly.
Usually by middle-aged men.
By middle-aged men. Muscle cars.
Kind of starts with a C and ends in an Orvette.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
There was a C8 there. You know,
What's the problem with the C8? We've driven C8s.
You know, I have my beef with the look of a C8, right?
We have some beef with the look, but
Can I make the look worse?
oh god.
So there was this orange. I believe it's whatever. I think it's actually called Sebring Orange. I think that may actually be the name of it. But an orange C8 Corvette that they had this very interesting accent of color matched, paint matched, orange, gold wheels. So orange on orange.
Oh no.
It gets worse.
Oh no.
They did little accents all over it. So they accented the spokes. They did like pinstriping and stuff with maybe the worst color to ever accent orange with. Gold.
Ooh.
Bad. And then, are you ready for it to get even worse?
Mm-hmm.
They put the riciest thing that has ever existed in the car world. Lamborghini doors on it. They put Lambo doors, scissor doors.
Yes.
And then to make
On a
it even
Corvette.
worse, they put velvet rope around it.
Yes. We actually, you took a video.
I did. I could not resist not taking a video of this.
Yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this video that is just, it's just the business. I mean, look at this magnificent. I think we're the magnificence of the wheels. Zooming in on, you see the gold accents.
Oh,
And this is, oh, it's got a black and tan interior on it. Oh my God, that's not good. All right.
That is bad. That is the velvet rope though might make it. It might be the perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
Would you just imagine the kind of person that drives this?
I mean, pure greatness, right?
Oh man, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. God, it was perfect. But you ready to get into some good stuff?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you missed the Ferrari February theme.
Okay.
And the Ferrari February theme brought out that same SF90 that we were looking at. So the same one that came out to that Thursday night supercar meet that we went to, which was my spot of the week last week. The owner of that brought out 3 cars from his private Ferrari collection. He's a Ferrari collector. That's what he does, which I got to admit, if you're getting allocated an SF90, yeah, you're probably a collector at that point. Right?
For sure.
But he brought out 3 generations of Ferrari that are all very different. They're exactly the same, only different, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
He brought out a Ferrari 430 Scuderia.
One of our personal favorites.
In the world, yep. He brought out a Ferrari 488 Pista.
A newer car.
And the SF90 Stradale. So
A brand new car.
the hottest versions of all of the Ferrari supercars of recent, except for the 458. But here's the thing. I now want your opinion. You get a pick of the 3. You've got the Ferrari 430 Scuderia, the Ferrari 488 Pista, and the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. Which one do you take?
Scuderia, easy.
Okay, why?
Because it was the car I raced back in my childhood, basically. Like in all the games.
Gran Turismo and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
That was my dream car, basically.
Okay, that's fair. Can I give you actually a real, almost logical reason?
Sure.
NAV8. End.
I can't argue that, but tell me, what are the engines in the other one in that case? It's a turbo V8?
So here's the cool thing about this lineup of these 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost the best of the NAV8, the best of the twin turbo V8, and now the best of the present and future generation of plug-in hybrid.
So the 430 would be the NAV8.
The 488 Pista is a twin turbo V8, and then the SF90 is a plug-in hybrid.
The hybrid, because we heard the hybrid part. Okay. That is actually cool to see the generations all stacked next to each other.
Yeah, a lot of people that don't know the cars didn't know that. They're just like, oh, these are cool, 3 cool Ferraris. But if you actually kind of dissect it and dive a little deeper, it's like, oh, wait a minute. we did this intentionally so that we could see what it was like when we had an NA V8, what it was like when we had the Pista with the twin turbo V8, what it's like in the future with the plug-in hybrid. One thing I noticed with the SF90, he had the rear, I guess the boot or where the engine is, right? The hood, whatever you want to call it. He had that popped in each car so you could see the engines, which I was a fan of, right?
Yeah.
The engine in the SF90 is mounted way lower.
Oh, really?
And I mean by a huge margin than the Pista and the Scuderia. It's actually kind of weird. So you open the rear of the Scuderia and the Pista, and the engine looks like where it should be.
The top of it's staring right at you.
Yeah. In the SF90, it's like you peer into this hole where there is an engine buried deep down in there.
And that's the newest car?
Yeah, which is obviously very good for weight distribution, keeping the center of gravity as low as you can. But I was fascinated by that.
I wonder where they put the hybrid battery in that case.
In the front.
It's in the front.
Well, you could see the battery, it kind of front and then going underneath.
Oh, so it's not like right below the engine.
I'd bet you it's probably front and swoops underneath the cab.
Yeah, the driver's seat, and it kind of stops. Interesting.
But really, really cool. My favorite, I'm with you, 430 Scuderia.
Yeah, I can't not love that car.
I think it's also people in our generation,
car
guys from our generation, have just fallen madly, deeply in love with the 430, especially a Scuderia.
Do you think that there should have been a 458 in this?
Well, I think...
Because that's the car that's missing in the generational leaps here.
Yeah, right? He has it too.
No,
he's got it. But it... Yes and no.
What was the engine? Was that
It was an NAV8. So then you would have had two NAV8s.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a pick of the NAV8s, you could have either gone Scuderia or Speciale. Honestly, I'm glad you took the Scoot out because I just love looking at that Scoot.
Yeah.
It's the car for me.
Okay.
It's maybe one of my favorite Italian cars ever made.
These are an awesome lineup of Ferraris, especially to go backward.
Beautiful.
In time.
And this Ferrari February theme was great. Okay. All of the cool Ferraris came out.
So there were some cool Ferraris, and then there were some other Ferraris.
Yeah.
Let's talk about another Ferrari.
Okay. Can we? So there was a Ferrari GTC4 Lusso that came out.
Tell me, what is that?
It's the shooting brake. It's the Ferrari that if you live in Aspen and you need a daily driver for the winter.
Okay.
Right. You need to carry your skis.
It's the hatchback.
Yeah, exactly. It's the GTI of Ferraris.
Yes.
So it's a special GTC4 Lusso as well. It is a 70th anniversary GTC4 Lusso. And this is a very interesting spec. It is very interesting. It is green, almost a British racing green, I would say. Would you call that close to a British racing green?
Yeah, it's close. Yep.
It's like a British racing green, but the really weird part is it's got this like deep burgundy maroon roof.
Oof.
It would be decent if they would have incorporated the line of the burgundy into like the taillight or something. But I swear to God, the painter at Ferrari, because this is stock, believe it or not.
Oh, this is?
Yeah.
Oh.
The painter at Ferrari, I don't know what he was thinking. It just ends. It's like beautiful green, and then this like deep burgundy, and then just at the end of the rear window, it's just a straight line that just ends it.
Yeah.
It is not. Maybe if they would have tied it into like the roof line a little better and faded it, it's just like a hard line of where this color stops and starts.
Yeah. A dark green to a brown to burgundy. And it's odd that there's just a straight line between them.
In person, it was a lot more red than it was.
Was it?
Brown. Yeah.
Huh.
Which is weird because the interior was another like red, but it was not the same red.
I don't like this.
If it was just plain British racing green, give me it all day long. Because it's my favorite color in a car ever.
Yeah.
Or if it was just that plain like burgundy, that'd be fine too.
Right.
But that weird, strange, like, it's just like a perfectly straight line.
Yeah.
It's like he forgot to finish it.
That's the 70th
anniversary GTC4 Lusso.
Did they have? I'm sure they had other colors that probably looked good.
If they would have just not done that just straight line where the burgundy ends, it would have been fine. Well, it would have been better. because I'm not a big fan of that scheme.
This is a cool car. I love the car.
I love
just
the
hate
car
the
to
paint.
death, but I don't like that red.
Yeah, the paint's just odd.
The red is just weird, and I will tell you from a further inspection, boy, does this car need some love.
What do you mean by that?
The paint, it needs some love.
Oh, okay.
I am the furthest thing from a detailer.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience to sit there and buff and polish a 2 square inch spot of paint for 8 hours at a time. But goddamn, the paint swirls in this thing.
Oh, really?
You could see them a mile away.
Okay.
I mean, I was there with a buddy of mine, Chris, and a couple other buddies, and my dad was there, and we all just kind of looked. We stepped back, we're like, whoa.
Yikes.
Dude, stop taking that through like the discount car wash at the gas station.
Yeah.
Because it ain't doing your fancy paint any favors.
Yeah. Interesting. A very interesting car on a Ferrari event. Not a
Yeah.
huge fan of the color, but other than that, it's an awesome car.
Yeah, awesome car. There's a lot of cool Ferraris that came out.
Yeah. So we have some other interesting cars that came out. Not necessarily Ferraris,
Yes, we do.
but there was some Japanese.
There's actually a local importer here that
Okay.
imports Hiluxes and like old Skylines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what we're now looking at is it's the Generation ST205 Toyota Celica GT4.
A Toyota Celica.
So if you don't know what this car is, then you don't know what this car is.
Tell me
But if
more.
you know what this car is, you walk by and you go, "Oh damn, that's
One of
really
those.
cool."
Okay.
Because that's what I did.
Okay.
Even I think it was even my dad. He walked by. He's like, "Oh, that's kind of neat." And I was like, "Whoa, hold up, pause. We got to look at this. This
Okay.
is really cool." So it's right-hand drive. It was imported from Japan.
Awesome.
The Celica SC205 GT4 was built for homologation purposes for the World Rally Challenge.
Oh.
So it's a WRC car.
Oh.
They made this car so they could race it in WRC.
Yes, that's what homologation means.
Yes, exactly. So it's essentially when homologation, to go a little further in depth, is when the race series tells the manufacturer, if you want to race this car in this series, you have to sell this car for the street.
And you have
what
to
this
sell
car is.
X number of this car at a minimum.
That's what this car is. This is a WRC World Rally Challenge car for the street.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. Right-hand drive. It came with a turbo 4-cylinder. And since this came out of the JDM market, so the Japanese domestic motors market, this actually came with 252 horsepower back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa! I didn't know that they had that much power.
Yeah. With 220 some odd.
What year would
torques.
this have been?
That would have been
Is this like an 80s?
94 to 99.
94 to 90. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was it was really, really, just really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
It 5-speed manual. Honestly, really, 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 really cool. The ST205 generation of the Celica GT4 actually did win one World WRC championship.
Oh, heck yeah.
So this is pretty much a championship car.
That's awesome.
How freaking sick is that?
That is definitely one of those, like, you would not know what you're looking at until you know what you're looking at.
I knew a
kind of
little
cars.
bit about it, the GT4, and I walked by and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
hold up. This is really cool.
Because I probably would have just said, oh, a Celica, that's kind of cool, and walked past.
But it's a homologated rally car,
That's neat. That is really, really
isn't it? I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, that is super cool. So there was one other one that I want to talk about, and I think that this tickles your fancy a little more than it tickles mine. But
It doesn't just
Let's-
tickle it. It is rubbing it very hardly.
so what are we looking at?
Oh my. We're looking at pornography.
Okay,
We are looking at the most perfect E-Type Jag I have ever seen in my lifetime ever.
an E-Type Jaguar.
So the prettiest of all the Jags that have ever been made.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the perfect spec. British racing green over like a saddle interior. Oh my God, it's so good.
And I will say from this photo, it looked extremely well kept.
So there's a couple of E-Type Jags that come out normally.
Okay.
This is not one of the normal ones that come out. This is one that I've not seen before. I've seen a number of E-Type Jags that come out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not common, but in our Cars and Coffees here, there's a few of them.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Oh my God, I've never seen this one. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's honestly like someone just froze it in ice and have finally thawed it out, and it's time for it to make its debut again. It's the most beautiful E-Type Jag in that British racing green. The paint looked great, and it smelled like an old leather oil burning E-Type Jag.
Mm-hmm. I wonder
God, it was good.
how much this would go for sale.
Not cheap.
Yeah, I'm looking at some numbers and I'm seeing 250 plus.
I think for a property type Jag like this, I think that's $250,000 Jag.
Whew.
I think that's probably a genuine $250,000 Jag.
Is that more expensive? No, it's not more expensive than the Ferrari.
Which Ferrari?
The highest end Ferrari.
No.
Yeah, because you said that was around $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
But goddamn.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, look at this thing.
I know that every British person would just fall in
In
love.
British racing green, too.
Yeah.
The color is what does it for me. Oh, I spent a good 15 minutes just oogling the car. Just walking around it, looking at it, looking under it, looking in it, looking everywhere, just trying to wipe my drool off the paint.
Did it have a crowd of people there watching it or looking at it?
Every 5 minutes, a new crowd would circulate. But yeah,
Okay.
there was always a small crowd gathered around going, oh, look at this.
There are usually certain cars in these shows that will have a small crowd around them. The Corvette, for instance, might have had one because people were like, what are you doing here? This would have one. The Ferrari setup would probably have a little crowd around it.
You're right about all that.
Yeah.
There's one more car that I want to mention that we don't have a picture of.
Okay.
But it's a car that, this is another one. If you just see it as a regular car person, you think, oh, cool, it's a new Aston. But upon further inspection, it's more than just a new Aston. So there was a brand new Aston Martin Vantage, so the V8 Vantage.
Yep.
Stunning car.
Yeah.
We know
a
it's
car.
Beautiful, right?
Yep.
But it was in a matte blue, which I actually really like the spec.
Was it a matte dark or light blue?
Matte dark blue.
Okay.
Honestly, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. But it's more special than a regular Aston Martin Vantage.
Why?
AMR version, so Aston Martin Racing version.
Perfect.
But it was 3 pedals.
Oh.
It was a manual.
Yes.
And I'm going to take it even further. It was a dogleg manual.
What does that mean?
Have you heard of a dogleg manual before?
I have not.
So let me explain a dogleg manual to you.
Okay.
Derek. Your BRZ's manual.
Yep.
Where is first gear?
It is pull up on the little shifter knob.
Not reverse, first gear. No, where's first?
Oh, sorry. That would be left and forward.
You would, yes. You know where first gear is in this? Left and backwards.
And down?
Left and downwards.
Oh.
Reverse is left and forwards.
Why would they do that?
To make your gear change from third to second quicker.
From third to second quicker, which would be going down into the center. Going from the top left down into the center.
No. No, if in a dogleg manual, it's from third, for a downshift, from center down to center up.
Oh, goodness.
So it makes it a quicker downshift in the 2 gears that you need the most torque, in theory. Which means, if you're driving a dogleg manual, and you're not used to driving dogleg, and you're used to driving, say, your BRZ, where first gear is left and forwards.
What was top left in a dogleg? Second gear?
Reverse.
Oh, reverse. Oh, and then
so in a dogleg, you have first gear left and backwards, second gear center and straight forwards.
Yes.
Third gear center and downwards. Reverse was for left and forwards. So if you're not used to driving dogleg, every single light you get to, you'll put your car in reverse. And then you start coming off the clutch and go, oh God, no, I'm going the wrong way.
That's the wrong way.
Yes, that's a dogleg.
Huh.
It was a dogleg manual.
That's cool. I've never driven that, and I don't know if I've ever seen that now that I think about it.
It's rare.
Yeah.
There was, I remember watching one of the Top Gears, and I believe this is when they were testing when they did like a cheap car challenge where they bought 3 90s German sports saloons, and it was an E36 M3, a Ford Sierra Cosworth, and a Ford Sierra Cosworth, and the Mercedes 190E.
Okay.
And the Mercedes 190E had the dogleg.
Okay.
And every time that James May got into that car and started to drive away, he would reverse into him and Doug Clarkson behind him, not paying attention because he thinks, I'm in first, I'm left and forwards.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, their reverse lights come on and you go, oh, Jesus Christ, he's going to hit me.
Yes.
That's a dogleg.
That's cool.
But yeah, really cool car.
That is super cool, actually.
A dogleg manual Aston Martin Vantage. It's brand new.
Yeah, I have never actually heard of that. And I want to drive that now.
Me too.
That sounds awesome.
I would put it in reverse everywhere I went.
I would do the same thing.
And it'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
It would take you literally all day to not go to a stoplight and not put it in reverse.
Oh, it'd be impossible.
We've been trained over years to
Yeah.
just go first gear, give it a little wiggle, so clutch in, a little bit of a wiggle, neutral, and now first gear, I'm good to go.
Another question. Have you driven a left-hand drive or a right-hand drive
No.
manual car yet.
I want to. I have not.
Neither have
I
I.
fear that I'll be rolling the window down every time I do it. I'll go for a gear and I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong thing. Okay, over here.
Moving
Pardon
that
me.
hand over there.
Yeah, just reaching for the door. Nothing's
Right.
happening.
Right.
Oh, it's over here.
Would be weird. But the pedals are the same, correct?
Pedal's the same. Yeah.
Okay, so the pedal action would be normal. But yeah, we need to find someone that has a right-hand drive car.
Yeah,
I
want to drive
I
one.
want to drive one too.
Me too.
That'd be cool.
So let's move on. Let's go to our actual official car spots.
Okay.
Have you spotted anything good over this past week?
I've spotted good and I've spotted questionable. Let's start with questionable.
Yeah, I like questionable. Let's start there.
So I was driving home from like playing disc golf or something. I don't know what I was
Okay.
doing. And I saw a Prius.
We see them everywhere.
Wow. This was not a normal Prius.
Oh boy.
This Prius had a tow hitch.
Oh, what are you towing with a Prius?
And I said, wait a minute. A tow hitch? Why would you put a tow hitch on a Prius?
What are you going to tow with a Prius?
I don't know.
Nothing.
And then I thought, wait a minute. A Prius is a hybrid. I think there's an electric motor in there. Is this just a sleeper towmobile?
But you're thinking you get extra torque with the electric,
Yeah.
the hybridness? Well, do you?
So I looked it up. No, you don't.
Okay. And?
You can tow 1,500 pounds with
That's
the
like
Prius.
a kayak and a half.
That's like 5 people.
Yeah, that's not enough.
No, that's nothing.
What if you have your car loaded with people and you're trying to...
That was my fear.
like, it won't move.
Yeah. For reference, like an F-150, a normal F-150 will tow about 5,000 pounds, I think is normal, right? Up?
I think it's like 10,000.
Oh, okay. Well, when I Googled it, it was 5 to 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I think in F-150, you're like closer to 10,000 pounds.
Okay. So then, why would you ever put a tow hitch on a Prius?
I don't know.
Even like a normal sized boat is not, unless it's a little John boat, like a really small boat, you're not really towing anything, right?
No.
Nothing weighs less than 1,000 pounds.
Unless
If
you
you're gonna
got
tow
one of those
something.
weird like tow hitch bike rack things.
Yeah, but no, this had the ball on it.
Oh, it had the ball.
It had the ball, like a proper tow hitch.
This is weird.
I don't know. You
That's just
tow a
weird.
trailer on a Prius? That would confuse me. Thought it would be a sleeper. Turns out, definitely not a sleeper. But fun fact about the Prius, do you know how much it weighs?
I'd imagine a lot. It's a hybrid, so it's got batteries. So probably close to 5,000 pounds.
Not quite that.
Really?
No, 3,000 pounds.
Oh, that's light.
That is surprisingly light.
That's actually way lighter than I expected. So that means it must be quick then, right?
0 to 60. Give her a guess. It does have an electric motor in it. We know that is the party trick for EVs.
So
go 0 to 60 quickly.
It's not as heavy as I thought it would be. Do you know its horsepower?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't even. Don't worry about looking it up because I'm betting it's probably in the 1 to 200s, right?
Okay.
I would say
121.
Oh my God, that's way slower in terms of horsepower than I thought. So that's going to alter my guess. I was going to say like 6 to 7 seconds. Now I'm going to say maybe 7 to 8 seconds.
Up.
More?
Up.
Slower.
It's slower.
What is it, 0 to 60?
It's 10 seconds. It's slow.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
a current car that's like a double digit 0 to 60 time?
It's technically 9.6 to 9.8, but it's practically 10 seconds.
We haven't seen it almost double digit 0 to 60 since like the 80s.
How did they get that slow out of an electric motor?
That's horrible.
That's really bad.
That's horrible.
Also, how do you only get 120 horsepower out of an electric motor?
That's Everything about a Prius is horrible.
That is really weird.
That is maybe the worst car that's ever been created.
For reference, a Tesla Model 3, which has electric motors, makes almost 500 horsepower.
Oh my God. What is wrong with people that buy a Prius? Have they ever heard of any other car than a Prius ever?
I don't know. And also, why put a tow hitch on it?
That's a weird spot, dude.
Yeah, it is a really weird spot.
That's weird.
But thought it was worth talking about.
Yeah.
A Prius with a tow hitch. If you ever see them, just like shame them.
Oh, I will.
That's silly. Don't do that.
I will.
But I did see something that was actually a good car spot.
Oh?
And it was headed toward, I think it was on Saturday, probably after the car show, I would assume. It was around like noon or something.
Okay.
They're probably heading home. But it was a red Ford GT.
Ooh.
And it wasn't the new Ford GT. It was the older Ford GT.
With the naturally aspirated V8. Yes.
Yeah. And it had the white pinstriping along the side, and
yes.
down the middle, the two stripes. Yeah, it's a good car. It's a good car. It's a real good car. You cannot go wrong with that.
I love that.
And that's going to have resale value too.
It's gone up in value a lot.
I'm sure it has.
Oh, I want that car.
Are the new ones going up in value?
Yeah, everything is.
That is true.
With the exception of the Buick Envision.
Very true. Yeah, so that was definitely my favorite spot that I saw. It was going the other way, so I didn't get a super detailed look at it, but I saw it go the other way, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take one of those. Those are
She's
fantastic.
a beauty. That's a good spot, dude.
Yeah, those are fantastic. So did you see anything interesting?
I did. I saw something that you're probably very eager to see.
What was that?
It is an EV, and I'm throwing it in here because it's the first time I've ever seen one, and there are not a lot of them.
Okay.
A Rivian R1T.
No, you did not.
I did. I actually saw it twice in the same day.
No.
I'm not kidding. Yellow.
Yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Saw it from the back and the front.
They've only made, like, not many of those.
Saw it twice in one day. Twice
Now,
in the span of about an hour and a half, as a matter of fact.
I know that there were two at the Freedom Factory, the local racetrack that Cletus McFarlane runs. And I think that the BBC Top Gear guys were here. Not the Jeremy Clarkson guys, but the new BBC Top Gear guys. They were here doing recording. And in the background of one of Cletus's videos, I saw two Rivian R1Ts. And I wonder if that's what you saw.
Probably one of them.
Okay.
So, first impressions?
Yep.
It looks way better in the flesh than it does in pictures.
Yes.
It looks so... I don't know if it's just proportional, why it's like the proportions, but it looks a hell of a lot better in the flesh than it does in pictures.
It looks like a proper truck.
It looks way more truckish.
Perfect.
So, that's one of my spots.
That's exactly what I want to hear for that car. Because that car is supposed to be, at least from what I know, supposed to be a proper truck, and it's supposed to be like the future of trucks. And it's supposed to be pushing the other manufacturers into pushing forward and making good trucks. But it also has the tech mindset, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, seeing it in the flesh looks a hell of a lot better than it does in pictures.
I'm stoked to hear that. I wish, I really want to get one of these, like, I want to be around one of these because I want to see how big the gear tunnel is down the middle, which is like...
It looks pretty big.
It does look big, but I want to see compartments. I've heard that the frunk is really big. It's got like the drain hole if you want to make it a big cooler, essentially. It's very good for camping. I really want to see one of those.
Yeah.
I hope somebody around here gets one soon.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
I actually like the look of it in real life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. What else did you see?
But my spot of the week is going to go to something that we saw at that supercar Thursday meet, and I think you already know what I'm talking about, but it's the Pagani Huayra.
Yes.
I can't not call that my spot of the week.
True.
It's gorgeous. The exposed blue carbon, and this is the first time I got like an up close and personal look at the Pagani. I've seen the BC drive past me, kind of in a blur, like, oh my god! But this is the first time I actually kind of got to get really close to it, examine it, inspect it a little bit more. Man, the engineering on that car.
Oh, it's wild. The
engineering on that car is unbelievable.
What would you rather take, a Koenigsegg or a Pagani?
The Pagani.
Really?
It's got more flair than a Koenigsegg in my opinion.
It definitely does. But they're in my opinion like equal in craziness.
Yeah, they're two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
Right? I prefer the Pagani. It's just it's so pretty.
Would you drive it daily or would you be scared to drive it?
If I could, I would.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. If I was the owner that had both of them, hell yeah.
You'd be driving it daily?
I also like the fact that it was a little bit dirty.
It was
when we did see it. So shows she drives it.
Yeah, she rallied it across the country. I'm sure it's got many thousand miles on it.
Yeah, honestly, that Pagani Huayra, that's my spot of the week. It's just stunning. It's beautiful. I mean, I can't not go with that. In that exposed blue carbon, so good.
And in the same week, you saw a better version of that car and a Bugatti.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice.
Yes, that happened.
Crazy.
What a life.
All right.
So
next week, you cannot use Paganis as your spot.
Let's see. Maybe I'll see a new one. We'll find out. But I guess we should move on to the I wish they would have, shouldn't we?
Yes.
So do you have an I wish they would have for episode 51?
I do.
What you got?
I wish that paint would repel bird poop.
Yes.
There's a big old spot of bird poop right on the door handle of my car right now.
Of all the places for it to land.
It's terrible. It's pure
of all
terrible.
the places for it to land.
The worst place.
That's great.
Yeah, you have to like... You don't want to
Is it the driver's door handle?
Yes. You do not want to open the door.
I think the bird that pooped on your car also targeted me. I think there's a bird that knows us that doesn't like us.
Why do you say that?
Because earlier this past week, I walked out to my car, my work car, and there was a big old hunk of bird poo all over, splattered the entire driver's door and window and the door handle.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And I was like, there's 1,000 cars parked around me. Why did you pick this one? This one car you had to poop on.
There's an entire earth. You could poop anywhere else.
But here.
Here.
And more specifically, here on the door handle here.
Yeah, bad spot.
Not good.
Do you know if there is like paint that repels bird poop or anything like that?
So I don't know if there's paint that repels bird poop, but there's like ceramic coatings and stuff like that, like on your paint that repel like everything. So I follow a couple dudes on social that are like professional detailers and like ceramic coaters for like a living. And I've seen some of like the crazy videos of like ceramic coating. It's insane. I've seen people dry their car with water. What? Yes, I said that correctly.
What?
Yes, I said that correctly. Like everything just beads off of it.
Huh.
So you get like a couple of specks of mud.
Yeah.
And you take a hose and you dry your car off with water because the water that's coming out beads off so quickly that it doesn't stick.
That's weird, dude.
It's nuts.
I bet you that would work with bird poop. Because it's just a fluid anyway.
I bet you it would.
Right. Okay. Interesting. We'll have to get somebody on that knows about
proper detailing and ceramic coating and
all that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you have for your I wish they would have?
My I wish they would have is that I wish cars would come from the factory with fire extinguishers.
Yes! Yes!
It's actually a decent one.
Yes, it is.
It's actually like a practical and decent one.
It is.
I say that because just this morning, as I was driving on the road, there was an F-150 that done blowed up.
Oof.
It caught fire.
Oof.
The whole engine bay engulfed.
Oof.
Yeah.
Never fun to see that.
No.
I've definitely seen that happen to people before, though.
Yeah.
And it does not take long.
I wish that, honestly, every car was sold from the factory with a fire extinguisher in it.
I wonder why they don't. Because, like, houses have them, right?
I mean, usually, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's...
Usually, like, new houses, they usually...
Yeah, I think by law they have to have them.
Like new houses, yeah.
Yes. But I wonder why cars don't. Race cars always have them. When I spilled all that oil over my engine bay, I had one in my passenger seat for like 2 days in case I needed it.
In case you were driving and all of a sudden you go, what's that smell? Oh, I'm burning.
Oh, no. It was like, oh, yeah, it's always smelling. But if I saw like other colored smoke come out of there that wasn't white, I was like, oh, shit, time to get the fire extinguisher and go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. If there was black smoke, we got a problem. But luckily, we never ran into that problem. Most of the oil has been burnt off. So I think that's a great idea. And I think that you could attach sensors to the car to determine like if you need to actually use it, and you could automatically deploy it. Like I know race cars have that. You press a button and it'll automatically deploy all the fire extinguishers all over the car. Yep. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's my wish it would have. I wish cars would come from factory standard with fire extinguisher.
That is a very good one. I like that.
It's a practical one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you got anything else for episode 51?
I do not.
All right, then that's going to wrap us up. Thank you all so much for watching and for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave us a thumbs up and drop a comment. I'd love to interact with you there. If you're listening on audio only, so Apple, Spotify, or Stitcher, wherever you're listening, Google, if you could leave us a 5-star rating and drop a comment or review on that platform of whatever platform of choice you're on. Make sure that you're following us on social. YouTube's We Are Auto, Facebook We Are Auto, Instagram We Are Auto _ And if you could, go ahead and send us your I wish they would have. So would love to hear about them and chat about them on air. And that's going to wrap us up for episode 51. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.